So let's get into human risk. What is it? I mean, Alex, have you ever found a USB stick in the car park and plugged it in? Because I think if I found a USB stick in the car park, I would be really pushed to think about plugging that in.
Honestly, it would be very tempting. I feel like, you know what, maybe like 5-10 years ago, I would have been a bit like, how about I try that? But like now, honestly, through like training and what's happening these days, you're a bit more careful, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And, you know, that's a light-hearted way of starting this off. But in all honesty, those questions that are on the right-hand side, I think these are the kind of questions that users are having day to day in the business about their IT and their systems and their experience. You know, I've had a customer recently ask me about hotel Wi-Fi. Is it safe to work on, to do finance work whilst on holiday, for example? And so the questions are how it's playing out. But on the left-hand side, the sort of concise definition. Ultimately, it's about the people, right, in the business and their knowledge, their awareness, their attitude to security, how that plays out in their decisions and their behaviours that ultimately leads to how exposed the business is to things like loss or harm. And the management of that is essentially standing back and saying, okay, we're going to identify where those risks are. We're going to perhaps prioritise them, and then we're going to apply resources to them. And that, when I say resources, that isn't just get you secure and everything is wonderful and there's no risk, right? This is, as you'll see as we go through, it's a broader play where there's technology and process involved as well. But the goal is obviously to reduce the number of incidents and the blast radius and the impact of those incidents as well. Let's talk about blanket training or induction training. You know, when you join the business, maybe you have to sign a document, or IT come and sit down and talk to all the new starters for 5 minutes and tell you what to do and what not to do. You know, that realistically is nothing more than a box ticking exercise, unfortunately, because the real problem is that risk isn't distributed evenly throughout the business. And as we keep going through these topics, you're going to understand that risk is more focused on roles than individuals ultimately. Many businesses have implemented stuff like phishing simulation, which is a better step than a blanket induction training, but it only really focuses on one particular area. So, you know, it's only one threat. What about the USB stick in the car park, for example? And that's where human risk management is different, in the sense that it's a broader program with a clear mandate to reduce the risk through the change of behavior. So it's different. And just really focusing on that topic about the people and the roles. If you're an IT person, many of you are probably sitting here now thinking, you know, oh, I know about Fred or whoever it is, he always clicks all the emails. Well, actually, yes, that is true to an extent, but you need to step back, and to have a measurable impact, you need to really think about the broader picture here of the roles, right? And the attacks that are being sent to each person in each role at each time. So just look at the matrix for a second. And work out, you'll see that it's, you know, it's very much dependent on what is coming into that person and what they're doing in their role. So if I sent a investor proposal document to someone in the warehouse, he's probably going to say, yeah, you know, great, not interested, move on, or it's obviously phishing. If I send that to my exec team, then they're going to be much more interested, because that's the kind of work that they're doing every single day. The same goes with the finance people. You know, if your accounts payable are receiving invoices all day and someone sends them an invoice, they're much more likely to click that too. So it really starts to get into the specifics of the role rather than the people in the business. And that's where you get into the danger zone, right? So when the attack looks like the job that person is doing, that's where the two circles kind of overlap. You know, that's where the clicks can happen. Yeah. From my own perspective, as an IT person, responsible for looking after things like email. You know, if I got an email to me saying, oh, your email system is going to be shut down in 10 minutes, or if you don't do these things and step through this process, you know, I'm going to look at that and go, oh, okay, that's, you know, that's my role. That's my responsibility. That's going to make me feel like I need to do something. And that's my danger zone there, where those two things overlap. I mean, Alex, do you have any thoughts on sort of the roles and the specifics around that kind of area?
No, I think it's very relevant, because obviously, even especially now through AI, hackers can spend so much less time trying to focus on specific people. They can find your email address very quickly and can send hyper targeted attacks can be like a ransomware, it can be like a phishing attack with like an SMS or voice call
Mm.
with fakes. There are like unlimited possibilities now. And yeah, you're right. People will be targeted like finance, obviously upper management, but even people who work like even warehouse workers. It can be anyone in the business realistically now.
Mm.